Here is Danny, and today AI voice is back because it is loud again. And just because it's loud doesn't mean I won't be doing a video to give you the patch notes for an update that drops April 14th, which of course has a bunch of improvements, but also the Operation Augur limited time mode, which is fought across Contaminated and Hagental base, and the LTV vehicle, which is NATO's answer to the Traverser Mark II, and the Ripper 14 melee weapon, which is included in a new Battle Pass bonus path that is called Hunter and Prey. There's a new training path in RedSec Battle Royale called Hazmat Breacher, or as DICE describes is leveraging a modified breaching dart launcher, firing a concentrated form of VL-7 smoke. Players are able to weaken and dislodge dug-in foes, while protecting themselves from negative effects thanks to their protective mask. Now for the patch notes. Progression feels more rewarding, where weapon XP and vehicle XP are now earned through active use alongside kills and assists. XP rates have been increased slightly across multiplayer, and Battle Royale and Gauntlet progression now place more weight on time spent in a match, with Battle Royale also awarding higher scores for kills and damage assists. Battle Royale and Gauntlet got improvements, where loot flow has been updated, strike packages and armor plate availability have been rebalanced, and a wider pass on challenge tracking, objective progression, and end-of-round presentation helps both modes play and reward more consistently. Combat feedback and gameplay clarity got changed, and should mean that incoming hit audio is now clearer. Rapid damage is easier to read. Projectile and tracer behavior is more consistent, and network warning indicators now provide better visibility during live combat. Weapons and gadgets receive a broad Polish pass. Defibrillators in the med pen have been updated, while attachments, animations, unlock presentation, and challenge tracking have all seen further improvements. UI, HUD, and front end got improvements where menus, challenges, loadouts, end-of-round screens, localization, store presentation, and Battle Pass readability have all been updated to improve clarity and consistency across the experience. Then, Portal, artificial intelligence, audio and settings got enhancements. Bot support has been expanded across multiplayer and operations. Portal tools and web app behavior have been improved. Audio has received further polish, and new controller tuning support has been added through the Dead Zones draw tool. And for the more loose patch notes, improved the display of completed assignments at end of round. Improved the display of dog tag unlock criteria after completing or exiting a match. Lasers and flashlights now enter a short cooldown after repeated rapid toggles to prevent input spamming. Soldiers no longer continue sliding across the ground after exiting a vehicle that is moving uphill. Soldiers now align more reliably with stairs and uneven terrain while prone. Soldiers' heads are now less likely to clip through nearby geometry while using ladders. There's some networking and hit registration improvements. Added a new bad time nudge network warning icon. They've added value readouts to network warning icons when visible, including packet loss up, packet loss down, time nudge, high latency, latency variation, and server tick rate. Grenades are now correctly dropped if a player's killed while preparing a throw. Thready moments can happen now. Hit damage feedback audio now plays more promptly when taking incoming fire. Incoming hit audio has been fine-tuned, so quick consecutive hits are clearer, especially during engagements against high rate of fire weapons. Network bandwidth usage has been optimized, so more weapon data can be sent in a single update. Projectiles will no longer occasionally spawn at the wrong height during stance transitions under poor network conditions, which could previously lead to shots not registering. Trade kill distance has been reduced to 30 meters from 50 meters to reduce cases where damage could be rejected during mid-range engagements. And visual bullet tracers now line up more reliably with the damage you receive. For the vehicles added the LTV, a new NATO variant of the Traverser, Mark II APC. Camera transitions now snap back to the soldier instantly when redeploying or dying when remote controlling a vehicle. Fixed an issue where land vehicles moving at crawl speed could still trigger mines when traveling across bumpy terrain. Improved the Legion automated AA to help prevent enemy jets from being stolen or spawn killed. Improved the main battle tank decal customization flow, so the camera point of view now returns to the selected decal position after leaving inspect view. And restored the relentless trample vehicle decal so it now appears in-game. For the RHIB, completed a broader polish pass focused on improving RHIB handling and overall usability. Improved audio presentation while turning and when impacting waves and the water surface. Improved handling to make the RHIB feel more nimble and easier to point. Reduced abrupt force changes when coming out of ignition and shortened ignition time. Updated the RHIB speed and RPM gauges so they now function correctly. Updated boat hull simulation to improve how the RHIB interacts with the water surface. Still not usable outside of RedSec though. The Scout helicopter got a lot of changes. Adjusted heavy rotary cannon overheat mechanic to compensate for reduced rate of fire. Extended Scout helicopter, light rocket ammo, regeneration time from 21 to 27 seconds. Extended Scout helicopter, smart rocket ammo, regeneration time from 16 to 20 seconds. Grenade launcher, muzzle velocity increased, and the grenade launcher now has infinite reserve ammo. Heavy rotary cannon fall-off range shortened to 45 meters and lowered the rate of fire from 1,000 to 800 rounds per minute. Reduced lethal range of attack. Helicopter heavy rocket explosion from 2 meters to 1 meter. Reduced lethal range of upgraded attack. Helicopter heavy rocket explosion from 2.8 meters to 2 meters. Reduced the inner explosive radius of all Scout helicopter rockets from 1 meter to 0 meters. Reduced the radius of attack helicopter heavy rocket explosion from 7 meters to 5.5 meters. Seismic detector radius increased from 16 to 36 meters. For the gadgets, added a missing recoil animation on the HTI-MK2. Added a more urgent low battery sound to the night vision goggles to better indicate battery shortage. Controller haptic feedback now triggers more reliably while using the gas mask and night vision goggles. Expanded the assault ladder interaction logic so ladders can now destroy additional small placeable gadgets and props. Fixed an issue on the night vision goggles where the battery depletion sound would not play while aiming down sights. Improved the audibility of the Scout drone self-destruct sound effects. Updated vehicle hit scoring so RPG critical hits and regular hits no longer award the same score. The Assault Med Pen got some changes. Added third-person healing support while prone on your back, which means you can now use the shot while on your back. Lowered the intensity of the on-screen effect and visual presentation. Retimed the gameplay effect to better match the updated animation and audio. Shortened the injection animation. And updated the pen visual effects to better match the new animation. The defibs got a big change. DICE found it was too easy to revive multiple teammates in quick succession with minimal risk. Not that medics really ever revived, but that's besides the point. But now, they're starting with 3 charges that allow for a few rapid revives before needing to recharge. Revive health scales with charge time, 50% instantly, up to 100% when fully charged. At least you can now properly kill people with them too, using the same values. They've also added a progress crosshair UI while charging. So you know when it's on 100% damage now scales from 50 to 100 based on charge level, in 10-point increments. Fixed cases where downed soldiers could not be revived when pressed into corners or when lying on stairs. Full charge time has been increased to 1 second from 0.65 seconds. Fully charged shocks now deal 100 damage again, up from 60. Can't believe they nerfed that after the beta. Now use 3 charges that regenerate over time, with 1 charge restored every 4 seconds. Now requires a 0.35 second charge before a revive can be performed. Revives now restore between 50 and 100 health based on charge level, in 10-point increments. The rate of fire is slightly reduced. Updated deploy timing, so charging can begin faster after selecting the gadget. So if you felt like you barely got revived, there's a good chance it's going to be even less now. For the weapon changes. When using the CZ-3A1 while throwing grenades, there shouldn't be a delay for throwing. Hollow point and synthetic tip ammunition now cost less on most weapons. Rangefinder now plays sound cues when a range check starts and when it completes. The DRS-TH optic now appears correctly on the B36A4 and SVDM. Time for the XP and progression time used now also counts for weapon XP, a bit like in Apex Legends. So it's not just kills and assists that level up your weapons. Added a new progression system that awards weapon XP and vehicle XP for use, alongside kills and assists. Adjusted XP earn rates across multiplayer modes by roughly 5% to 10% to bring them closer in line with one another. Corrected a bunch of challenges that are now on screen. Whoa, that is so many words and a lot of things to read. There's a bunch of user interface and HUD changes too. Automatic AA and stationary weapons now display their pickup provider icons more consistently. Corrected Battle Pass pre-purchase inputs, so Battle Pass and BF Pro no longer share identical prompts. Corrected BF Pro pricing, so pre-purchase now uses the intended payment method instead of Boins. Wait, you could buy them with Boins? Damn, missed that. Network warning icons have been sharpened for improved readability. Ping preview icons now display correctly even when the ping prompt is disabled in options. Player names now show correctly when looking at players, and the ping prompt has been moved higher on screen. Remove the blinking "Revive Me" prompt in multiplayer. They corrected a bunch of skins and weapons to show the right stuff. It was a massive list of stuff not a lot of people really care about. DICE restored the character customization menu to loadout. Updated end-of-round squad presentation so similar uniform patches no longer appear across all squad members. Updated the SciGas tooltip in the tutorial, so it no longer is described as harmful. Updated weapon stickers purchased through the store, so they now refresh correctly in loadouts. Lot of changes to the settings. Added a Dead Zones draw tool to the controller tuning, providing an in-game overlay that visualizes the selected controller dead zones to help with tuning. Corrected graphics presentation so the VRAM meter now appears and behaves correctly in the affected builds. Corrected input values, so the infantry mouse slider now shows the intended value after being changed on a fresh account. Corrected mount breakout option text, so it now reflects the intended behavior. Corrected system setup wording, so the in-game option now matches the intended description. Corrected the keyboard and mouse pilot subsection, so it now matches the intended design reference. Corrected the vibration settings reset flow, so the reset key now works correctly, and the vibration settings preset no longer switches to custom, unexpectedly. Corrected the save flow for settings changed during campaign missions, so they now persist after returning to the menu. Improved the options menu flow, so back and escape now return correctly, instead of triggering the quit game prompt. Improved single-player settings. So infantry aim assist, zoom, snap no longer appears there. And stick forward sprint is now available where intended. Updated motion blur settings. So weapon motion blur and world motion blur now behave consistently with their menu presentation. But can we use the UI.drawinable console command yet? There's a bunch of things coming to Portal, and the web builder added the Portal gadget to Battlefield 6, and RedSec custom experiences. The Portal gadget is a versatile, equipable tool built for creators designing custom Portal experiences. It gives you the power to trigger tailored gameplay logic at precise moments and locations, putting far more control in your hands and transforming how players interact with your world. When the update is out, I might show it off, assuming I understand it. Corrected combat area setup, so exclusion zones, surrounding combat areas, and team assignment now work correctly. Corrected gas mask inventory behavior so it no longer appears when all gadgets are restricted. Corrected MCOM setup so affected MCOMs and Portal experiences no longer use the wrong explode settings. Corrected vehicle spawner behavior so the intended vehicles now spawn correctly. Corrected vehicle event behavior so events now fire correctly for every seat. Corrected Portal bot behavior so bots now attack and defend capture points correctly. Improved password protected server joins so players can now join friends protected Portal servers correctly. Improved Portal mode availability, with shell-shocked mode now available again. Updated set capture point owner so the function now works correctly. Corrected Granite Duo and Escalation verified modes, so placeholder titles and descriptions no longer appear in the web app. Corrected language selection, so UK English, Australian English, and Chinese now display correctly in the web app drop-down. Corrected Hagenthal base setup, so include default spatial data is now available, preventing missing HQs. Corrected primary weapon restriction behavior, so players no longer become unable to move after deploying. Corrected profanity filtering, so non-prohibited words are no longer censored. Corrected the experience image button flow, so it now works properly after resetting or refreshing an experience. Corrected the Gauntlet web builder, so the mission tab is no longer accessible where it should not be. Corrected the maps item block in web app 1.2.1.0, so missing maps now appear correctly. Corrected the mission order tab for verified Gauntlet, so it now functions correctly. Corrected the SciGas strike entry and restrictions, so it no longer uses placeholder icon and name. Improved experience creation, so importing spatial data no longer prevents experiences from being created. Improved hosting stability for experiences using multiple Granite PO is with specific spatial data. Some changes to the Godot editor, too. Corrected Granite Underground, so it now uses a dedicated loading screen. Corrected Office Building _02_B, so it now uses the proper mesh in the spatial editor. Corrected the fixed camera asset, so it now matches the in-game camera orientation. Improved content protection, so Phantom Room assets can no longer be scraped into the SDK and exported through JSON. Improved Tech Center presentation by removing floating and misaligned assets at the affected location. Phantom Room? Hello? Phantom program coming soon? But that's not all. DICE corrected the community concat function, so it now behaves as intended. Corrected overload mismatch errors, so emplacement spawner functions now show the provided parameter list correctly. Improved stability around transform, tracker registration, improved stability around area check validation, corrected SS26 restrictions, so it no longer appears twice in the restrictions tab. Corrected the verified experience start flow so rounds can no longer begin without meeting the intended pre-round player requirement. Corrected the verified gauntlet scoreboard, so squads joining after the local squad now appear correctly during the match. Improved hosting compatibility, so verified experiences created on previous patches no longer return an unknown error. Sad. Just let me run on a ranked server solo. Probably need that for the Easter eggs too if they ever come. There are also audio changes. They've added new hurt, voice reactions when taking damage from the repair tool. Corrected the audio options, voice chat subsection, so it now matches the intended settings design. Corrected the multiplayer audio option, so soldier and campaign voice lines volume no longer appears there. Fixed missing zoom audio while aiming the bomb camera on the F-61V. Improved button audio, so selecting skins or decals now plays the intended sound. But will newly unlocked items have the yellow balls forever? Improved firing range target audio, so death screams no longer play when targets are killed. I thought it was pretty funny, though. Improved sound obstruction on vehicles. Improved support for spatial audio on PS5. Minigun audio on the Little Bird has been polished to blend better in the mix, especially from the chase camera perspective, and new interior firing audio has been added. Tall grass surfaces now play the correct audio more consistently, where appropriate. Tweaked walla sounds for improved ambience. No idea what walla sounds are? If I Google it, I just get a Hebrew news site. And reduced repetition on generic impact sounds for the repair tool. AI got some changes. Extended bot vehicle support across all multiplayer experiences, maps, and modes. Improved bot behavior, so they can now navigate spaces that require crouched or prone movement. Improved bot steering while navigating corners and hills. Improved bot target prioritization, so they no longer focus on danger pings for too long. Improved air combat behavior, so bots and aircraft engage more often. Improved navigation across contaminated with multiple pathing updates. Improved navigation near HQ on MP Firestorm, so bots no longer become stuck in the cliffs. Updated bot vehicle behavior, so bots can now use the armored transport vehicle. There's some changes to RedSec strike packages. Added armor plates to the ammo drop strike package. Added a new high-value strike package called Armor Drop, which awards a large amount of armor plates. Adjusted high-value strike package spawn chances to account for the new armor drop. Increased the amount of ammo awarded by the ammo drop strike package. They changed clipping issues and loot placements. Added icons to bunker entrances and exits. Improved spot ping audio with a more recognizable sound and slightly increased squad ping volume. But hey, that's all I got for now. Subscribe for more. This was Danny, and I see you on the battlefield.